shots, sorbet, and somehow pizza. Here's how to up your watermelon game on a hot summer day. Perfect for hot summer days, watermelon ice cubes and popsicles aren't just refreshing, but also remarkably easy to make. For ice cubes, all you have to do is chop up your watermelon into bite-sized pieces and pop them in the freezer. No ice cube tray is required. Just grab a knife and you're good to go. Almost as easy to make as watermelon ice cubes, watermelon popsicles make a healthy and invigorating summer treat. Simply puree your ingredients and pour them into popsicle molds. While watermelon popsicle recipes vary, they obviously share a common base: fresh, juicy watermelon. You can make your own adult watermelon popsicles by blending watermelon with fresh mint, fresh lime juice, agave syrup, and tequila blanco. For a sweeter take on the cooling treat, you can also try adding honey and strawberries to the mix. While it might be tempting to purchase cubed watermelon at the supermarket, buying pre-cut fruit isn't recommended. Not only do pre-cut watermelons go bad faster, but they can be a breeding ground for dangerous microorganisms. The best way to enjoy this vibrantly colored fruit is by buying it whole and cutting it at home yourself. While most of us usually cut watermelons into wedges or slices, there's a much more convenient way to enjoy this sweet treat: slicing it into sticks. To begin, cut the watermelon in half lengthwise. Next, place one of the halves on a cutting board with the flat side facing down. With a sharp knife, cut the fruit into 1-inch slices and then cut it in the opposite direction to create nice long rectangles. One option is to keep the watermelon rind to make the sticks easier to handle and eat. Alternatively, you can take a slightly different approach by removing the watermelon rind before slicing the fruit into sticks. Once cut, cover the watermelon with a bowl and flip over the cutting board to transfer it into the dish. Finally, place skewers into each watermelon stick et voila! A delicious array of mess-free treats. The allure of watermelon Jell-O shots lies both in their taste and visual appeal. Unlike conventional Jell-O shots, watermelon Jell-O shots take the form of mini wedges. What's even better, making these delightful adult treats requires just 5 simple ingredients: watermelon, water, watermelon-flavored Jell-O, and a splash of vodka or another spirit. Of course, you can also make them virgin if you so choose. Whipping your Jell-O shots into shape is as simple as cutting the watermelon into 2 halves, scooping out its flesh, and using the hollowed rind containers to set the Jell-O. Once ready, the Jell-O bowls can be cut into 1-inch slices and then 2 or 3 separate wedges. You've got to admit, they don't look half bad, do they?
Pizza time.
Watermelon pizza offers an imaginative and refreshing take on a classic dish. The light, low-calorie nature of this recipe makes it perfect as an appetizer or a snack between meals. As creative as the person who makes it, watermelon pizza can also be customized with a plethora of sweet and savory ingredients, from fruit and herbs to cheeses. To make watermelon pizza, slice the fruit in half and then cut it into 1-inch thick circles before topping them with your chosen ingredients. Once ready, cut the watermelon pizza into slices just like you would a regular pizza. If you aren't sure what goes well with watermelon, some popular recommendations include cilantro, jicama, tomatoes, ricotta, goat cheese, and fennel. Alternatively, you can use colorful fruit such as strawberries, kiwis, raspberries, and blueberries to create a dish that's not just delicious but also visually appealing. If you're serving watermelon pizza as dessert, you can also top it with whipped cream or chocolate sauce. Watermelons make a great alternative to traditional punch bowls, guaranteeing a crowd-pleasing addition to any party. Blending creativity and functionality, watermelon kegs provide a convenient method for dispensing drinks, and you can also infuse them with a refreshing hint of watermelon flavor. Whether it's a fruity punch, an aromatic cocktail, or a refreshing non-alcoholic concoction, a watermelon beverage dispenser is bound to make for the perfect icebreaker. To turn a watermelon into a drink dispenser, cut a slice off the bottom end of the fruit to create a stable base. Then remove a larger slice from the top of the melon to form a lid-like opening. Next, scoop out the fruit's innards just like you would with a pumpkin for Halloween. Once the watermelon is hollow, use a drill or an apple corer to make a hole for the spigot. Take care not to crack the fruit's rind when pushing the spigot into place. If you don't have a new spigot and don't fancy a trip to the hardware store, you can try repurposing an old beer keg tap or a water dispenser tap to save time. It may come as a surprise to some foodies, but grilling watermelon actually enhances its unique flavors and texture. This is because heat caramelizes the fruit's sugars, bringing out its sweetness. Searing watermelon also imbues it with smoky and earthy tones. Grilling watermelon also makes it firmer and chewier without compromising the fruit's trademark juiciness. Some have even gone as far as comparing the consistency to that of meat. To make grilled watermelon, slice it into half-inch wedges, leaving the rind intact. Next, line the pieces of fruit on a sizzling griddle or grill and sear for between 2 and 3 minutes or until you see grill marks.
Le grill? What the hell is that?
Grilled watermelon can be enjoyed on its own as a refreshing appetizer or side dish, or as an unexpected addition to salads and desserts. Smooth and velvety in texture, sorbet is a light alternative to ice cream. Most sorbets are also vegan, dairy-free, and paleo, which makes the frozen treat perfect for anyone on dietary restrictions. Although you'll find an endless range of flavor options for sorbet, watermelon is one of the best ingredients due to its refreshing flavor and 92% water content. That being said, it's best to use seedless watermelon when making sorbet, since the last thing you need is any unwelcome visitors in your dessert. While watermelon sorbet is relatively simple to make, it does require a little forethought, since you need to cut and freeze the fruit before starting the preparation process. To make things easy, simply pop the watermelon and any other fruits you like in the freezer the night before. If you're looking to add a touch of creaminess to the mix, bananas are a great option too. The next day, puree the fruit along with some water, lime juice, and maple syrup or honey before popping the mixture in the freezer for another 12 hours. To get the texture of the sorbet exactly right, it's best to add the water gradually as you blend the ingredients. For many of us, watermelon seeds are nothing but a nuisance. For others, they represent a world of possibilities. With each fruit harboring between 300 and 500 seeds, the potential for creativity is vast. To obtain the best seeds possible, it's best to use a watermelon that has been allowed to fully ripen on the vine or even become overly ripe, since watermelon seeds stop ripening the second the fruit is cut down. Once in the kitchen, scoop the watermelon flesh out and place it in a container with water. The pulp and damaged seeds will float, while the healthy seeds will sink to the bottom, aiding in the separation process. If you're using a colander to separate watermelon seeds from the flesh, be mindful of the fact that it's the melon's black seeds that are ready to eat, while their white counterparts are still unripe. To make the seeds ready for consumption, dry them in the sun for around a week, or save time by roasting them in the oven. Whatever method you choose, rest assured that the final result will be both tasty and nutritious, since watermelon seeds contain plenty of magnesium, potassium, and fatty acids. According to the National Watermelon Promotion Board, which, yes, is a real thing, a staggering 40% of us have no idea that watermelon rind is edible. Even those of us with an inkling that watermelon skin can be repurposed typically discard it, unaware of its versatility in the kitchen and its many health benefits. According to Healthline, incorporating watermelon rind in your diet can lower blood pressure, add fiber to your diet, and increase oxygen delivery to the muscles.
Scientists believe that the first human being who will live 150 years has already been born. I believe I am that human being.
Watermelon rind can be utilized in a multitude of ways. It makes a delicious addition to stir-fries since it's quick to soften and takes on the flavors of the sauce. It can also be pickled for a tart and crunchy treat. Notably, the first cookbook published in the U.S. all the way back in 1796 included a recipe for pickled watermelon rind, alongside other treats such as stuffed goose and queen's cake. Other ways to make the most out of watermelon rind is by turning it into smoothies or shredding it on salads. For a sweet treat, you can also transform watermelon rind into candy. Start by cutting the rind into 1-inch chunks and then boil the pieces until they are tender and translucent. Finally, add sugar and lemon juice to the mix and simmer on medium heat. Once they have cooled, store the watermelon rind candy in airtight containers. Rather than popping them in the fridge, however, it's best to place the containers in a cool and dry place to prevent the rinds from getting sticky.
When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, Franklin. Do you have any lemonade?
No, sir.
Oh.
As you're probably well aware, lemonade contains lemons, sugar, and water. However, this sweet beverage isn't limited to these 3 ingredients. Lemonade has countless variations that incorporate additional flavors, fruits, and even herbs to create unique and refreshing drink combinations. One such additional ingredient is watermelon, which boasts a sweetness that acts as a great complement to the tangy taste of lemons. To make your own watermelon lemonade, chill the fruit in the fridge, scoop out its flesh, and puree it in a blender before straining. Then combine the watermelon juice with cold water, lemon juice, sugar, fresh mint, and crushed ice. For extra flair, garnish the concoction with a slice of lime. An ideal thirst quencher on hot summer evenings, watermelon lemonade is also healthy. In addition to the vitamin C found in lemons, watermelon is a rich source of vitamin A, carotenoids, and lycopene. The classic salsa recipe we all know and love features a predictable list of ingredients, including tomatoes, onion, garlic, lime, and dried chili peppers. There are plenty of more unusual salsa versions out there though, and believe it or not, salsa doesn't need to be savory. This versatile condiment is also often loaded with fruit, berries, and other sweet ingredients. Those looking for a fresh take on the ubiquitous dish could even give watermelon a go. Ideal for serving with tortilla chips or as a taco topping, watermelon salsa can be as varied as each foodie. Whatever you add to it, with watermelon as a base, the dish is bound to be incredibly refreshing and come with a welcome tinge of sweetness. Popular takes on the dish combine watermelon with ingredients such as cherry tomatoes, serrano peppers, red onion, fresh mint, fresh cilantro, lime, as well as salt and pepper. If you think skewers need to be meaty, think again. There are plenty of satisfying skewer options out there that don't include meat. Particularly popular on hot days, watermelon skewers make a juicy and colorful treat that's not just light and delicious, but also invigorating and hydrating. Watermelon skewers are versatile and easy to prepare. Simply cut the watermelon into cubes and skewer them with a bunch of other ingredients, depending on the season and your mood. Watermelon skewers can even be turned into imaginative drink markers and food holders. Ideal for kids' parties, the skewers can be made with a variety of melons and berries to add color to the end result. To make the job easy, use cookie cutters to fashion your ingredients into the desired shapes before placing them on the skewers.